in God's ability to provide for you financially in difficult times. Don't tell me about difficult times. I know difficult times. When we first got married, let me tell you, we had difficult times. We had difficult times financially. We didn't have money to play around with. I wasn't working. We were in a village where you really couldn't buy your groceries in a big way. You had to go to the city to get your groceries. You couldn't go and get a loaf of bread in the store. He didn't sell it that way. You had to bake your own bread. It was very, very difficult. I don't think any of you have ever heard me speak about Speyside. You've never heard me speak about Speyside. Pastor speaks about it all the time. You've never heard me speak about Speyside. There was so much. But you know, those were really, really good days. They were foundation days for me. And I know what it is not to have anything in the cupboard. I know what it is. I know what it is to hope that I get some fruit, because that was what it was going to be for the day. I know what that is. God is, and I saw God provide in those days, like, I mean, miracles, miracles. I remember one Christmas we had very little, and we cut this branch, not a real Christmas tree now, a branch. We painted it, put some little stuff on it. You should see it. And we didn't really have any money. And then I got a letter in the mail. It was from one of the college professors from the Bible school where we attended. And I had left, maybe 2 years before or something. I'd never heard from him. And there was money in that envelope. And we got it, I think, Christmas Eve. It was just unbelievable how it happened. And that's just one. So I know what it is. Don't look at me here and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. But I know that God can supply. Let's look at Psalm 78, verses 11 through 19. I'm going to read it, some of it at least, real quickly. They forgot what he had done, the wonders he had shown them. He did miracles in the sight of their fathers in the land of Egypt, in the region of Zoan. He divided the sea and led them through. He made the water stand firm like a wall. He guided them with the cloud by day. Look at all the miracles. Cloud by day with the light from the fire all night. He split the rocks in the desert and gave them water as abundant as the seas. You talking about miracles? He brought streams out of rocky crag and made water flow down like rivers. But, wow, somebody pays attention. Because that's exactly what Pastor would have said, right? But they continued to sin against him, rebelling in the desert against the Most High. They willfully, no underscore, they willfully put God to the test by demanding the food, not that they needed, that they craved. They spoke against God, saying, "Can God spread a table in the desert?" The psalmist records how God provided. It was like a cycle. God provided, then Israel doubted. Then God provided, and then Israel doubted. And they did this over and over. They willfully put God to the test. They asked for things they didn't need. Tate in his commentary said, it literally means that they asked for things not so much to sustain life, but to satisfy undisciplined appetites. And they said, despite all that they saw, they said, yeah, true, he struck a rock and water got, but can he provide meat for us now? They were limiting what God could do. They were saying God can do this. Nah, but he can't do that. Just like, don't be too hard on these people now. We do this all the time. Yes, God can take care of this headache, because we know full well we have Tylenol. But still, there are other things that we say, I don't know, I don't think so. I have to take care of that myself. So they said, true, he struck a rock and water gushed out, but can he provide meat? The question is, can God? Can God? This is a question based on anxiety. Can God? Anxiety is an unpleasant emotion triggered by anticipation of future events, memories of past events, or ruminations about the self. Can God? How many times have we said that? Can God supply our needs? Can God heal my body? Can God supply a job for me in this present economic situation? And the list goes on and on. The answer is yes. Yes, he can. Yes. The flip side of this is what we have to do to receive those promises. God supplied the needs of the Philippians because they were generous. Philippians chapter 4, 14 to 19. My God shall supply all your needs was preceded by his commendation that they were so generous. And he said, because you're so generous, God is going to supply all of your needs. God promises to bless us if we are faithful tithers. Boy, that was light. Going to do that one again. God promises to bless us if we are faithful tithers. You know what? Let's show that one in the Bible. 3:8. Malachi 3:8. Just in case you think I'm the one who made this up or Sister Jackie makes it up every week. Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you ask, how do we rob you? In tithes and offerings. Let's do verse 9. Verse 9. You are under a curse, the whole nation of you, because you are robbing me. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be under that. I don't want to be under a curse. Bring the tithes into the storehouse. The reason why some Christians don't tithe is because they're too attached to their money. The story is told of a preacher who gave 4 members, I don't know if I gave you this illustration, but maybe I did, but listen anyway. Before the service, he was about to preach, and he gave $400 bills to 4 different persons in the church. He said, I'm going to make an appeal. I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to give the first $100, and I'm going to ask who else will, and the 4 of you will stand. And you will give the $100 that I just gave to you. I know what some of you are thinking. You're saying that was dishonest. Not really. He wanted to prove a point. They all stood up right away and gave the $100 each. And then he explained to the audience what he just did. So he wasn't being dishonest. These people had no attachment to this money. It wasn't theirs. They had no, it was very easy for them. If it's difficult for you to pay your tithes, you're attached to something that does not belong to you.